Have you ever climbed a boulder and thought, wow, this is so creative? Then it left you wondering, who set this route? That curiosity is what got me interested in route setting. After our gym's competition, I finally got the chance. Our gym hosted a workshop taught by two of Philippines' national route setters, Gerwin Dimapilis and Mikkil Sarmiento. And even after their days of comp setting, they still had the energy to teach us, which was awesome. I went through the whole process, from a blank wall to a finished climb. And the next day, I got to watch climbers test it out and send it. So make sure you stay till the end of the video to watch that. Here's how it all went. There was only a select few of us that were able to attend this class, some of the locals from the Davao climbing community, and some climbers that competed in the competition from Cebu and CDO. Here's some of the routes that were still up from the comp. This was the open category climbs, and our job today is to set around all these problems. But before then, Mickey and Gerwin wanted to explain to us the safety rules and the basics we need to know as route setters.
I'm Gerwin. I've been climbing for 17 years. We're part also of national setting team, also outdoor development.
I'm Mikkil, a lot of the organizing of comps in Manila. I also route set for Beehive. I route set for Flow State. We're here because of Ron and Jen to do the route setting workshop. So for this workshop, we will teach you about the movement, creativity, and of course, safety. We'll start setting, then lunch break, and then setting again, and then forerunning and tweaking, which is also part and very important in route setting.
Since Mickey sets at Beehive in Manila, he knows all about commercial setting because that's a very commercial gym.
This is where we get the ideas of other people in our climb. When we set the routes, we just set the skeleton of the routes. It doesn't necessarily mean that you put on the holds and that's gonna be it. No. You put on the holds, you set the skeleton, and then we tweak, we adjust, we brainstorm what works, what doesn't work, and that's the most important thing. Later at the end of the day, we will evaluate, we will debrief what you guys learned, what you need to improve, and how you will improve as setters also. This is unnecessary. Why? We only need 1 inch or 2 inches of thread outside the hole because the T-nut is also in the panels already. The panels are only 3/4 inch thick. So if you have 1 inch or 2 inches of thread, that's already safe because the thread is beyond the T-nuts already. So this one, is this enough? So this might get in 2, 3, 4 threads, but it's not safe, especially if you put it on overhanging. This will just cause accident.
Especially on heavier people.
Yes.
When they pull, we saw that happen.
A perfect example would be this. 1 inch or up to 2 inches. Phillips screws are prone to destroying the tip. So this one, you get more grip. It's used really for construction. So there's different lengths. There's a threaded part. There's a non-threaded part. So if you use this and you hit the wall already at this point, the screws will just get stuck. The panel is only 3/4 inch. So if you screw, nothing is gonna happen. But if you are here, then it will go out. So if you use the small one, you can easily remove it. This one, now we can't remove it. It will be just harder for you to remove. When do you use this one? On certain type of holds, there's a thickness to it. You have to always check you still get the threads.
Me personally, I was very interested in comp setting. That's my favorite style of route setting, like the jumpy, flashy climbs. I think not only do they look cool, but I enjoy doing them, mainly because I'm always impressed that the human body can even do these kind of movements. So I like pushing myself to do dynamic routes and dynos.
Technical, subtle footwork and balance. Old school, static, powerful, and linear. Remember the green problem here for the men's? It's just a straight up problem with 2 hard pinches. but with the correct beta of doing it under cling. So setting with intention. When we set, you have to think of the theme, emotion, and movement. Sometimes in setting, you are making the experience of the climbers. You have to think of that. It might be when they're up there, it looks scary. Standing in the corner, and then you think the hold is too far. So that's why we put it in the open. Those guys are crazy already. It's okay. When you're setting, you have to think, what will the climbers feel in this position? Will they be scared? Will they be ecstatic? Movement. Sometimes you have to think of how the movement feels. It doesn't have to be all the position in the roots are awkward just to challenge them. You have to make it comfortable also. So one move is awkward, and then a comfortable move to the next one. It can't be awkward to awkward to awkward. It's not gonna be an easy climb. It's not gonna be a popular climb also. If you do it once, you're not gonna repeat it again. When you climb here, you always have roots. For example, you did it once. You're gonna come back and the route is still there, and you think, oh, this is a good warm-up already. But when you go here and you see the problem, oh, that's the shitty climb that I did. I don't want to repeat it again. You did it once, and that's it. You don't want those kinds of problems.
I remember asking a question during the class, and I was very curious about this. If your ability or your level as a climber is equal to your ability and level as a route setter. For example, I was asking if a V4 climber can set any routes that are harder than V4, or should they stick to the V4? They said you could definitely set routes higher than your grade, and it's all about setting the moves piece by piece.
Test the routes with different body types. Test climbs if you were the climber. Sometimes when we're forerunning, we're just wearing our setting shoes. We want to see if we will slip. We have to put ourselves in their situation. This one, the blue one, is kind of scattered because that's a competition style setting.
They also said just like climbing, you have to warm up. So when you're going to route set for the day, you have to warm up just like it's an exercise, because you're going to be carrying around boxes, you're going to be carrying around all these heavy holds, some ladders, and you don't want to hurt yourself during the process of building these routes. You're also going to be climbing them, which is what I learned from route setting, that you're kind of climbing throughout the whole day.
How's the warm up? How's the route setter warm up go?
This is how we warm up.
Yes. This is how route setters warm up. Let's go.
I remember just looking at the holes in the basket, and I was like, wow, these are the pieces, like the Lego pieces that we will be putting on the walls to create these projects that climbers will get to enjoy, and hopefully we're able to teach them movements. It's our job as route setters to teach the local climbing community movement. I was really excited to teach people that came to the gym a specific dyno movement. That was really in my head. And if I do future routes, I want to introduce these moves that normally people would not be doing in the gym. Because how are you expected to get good at a move in climbing if that climb is not in your home gym? You want to be able to practice it, you want to be able to get comfortable with it, and then therefore in the future when you ever face those moves and those problems, it's muscle memory. And of course, before we started drilling into the wall, they showed us every little step that you needed to do in order to properly drill into the wall, because you do not want to damage these holds. A lot of holds get really expensive. You can crack them. You can use the wrong screws, which is then putting climbers at risk. There's a lot of things that goes into your job, and you're pretty much responsible for the safety of these climbers in a lot of ways. They were really good at explaining to us even the little details. And me being in the Philippines, not speaking the language, I'm really glad that they spoke English through the class. I know that that was kind of probably harder for them. They're probably way more comfortable communicating and teaching in Visaya or Tagalog.
Oh, no need for rock shoes.
T-wrench. Old style of setting, they use this. You don't have money to
buy drills.
To buy drills, because drills are expensive. It ranges like
5 to maximum 15,000. Yeah.
the good ones like Makita. There are like cheaper version brands or models like around 7,000. It comes with a battery and charger. When you're putting holes, like Mickey said, you angle it with your desired position. You put the Allen key on the bolt, and then tighten it. For more leverage or torque, you have to use this one. And then once you feel the bolt is biting and then it has a tension on it, okay, that's enough. Don't make it like over torque it or put all of your strength on it. It may
Destroy your
the
peanuts.
peanut, and also for other setter, when they remove it, they will like hard time to take it off. Once it's okay, you back up with screw. Different same brand, different models has a different power or mode. So I use the slow, automatic, and high. High is too strong. This one has 4 modes. We set it on 2. So what's the difference? I can remove it because this one I use the stronger. So I have to set it like also on 3 to withdraw it. Reverse. What have you noticed between these two? Because this one, it's a hard impact drill. This one is soft impact. The soft impact is also more quiet. So this is more ideally for like if your gym is like located in the mall.
Perpendicular. You can press the drill lightly first and see if the bolt goes in. And then when you feel that it's in already, then Allen bit for the bolts, T20 or T25 for the torque screws. Okay? So when you remove the bit, this one goes out and then pull the bolt. And then pushing it, just push it. So this one is not necessary. This is just magnet. What's the use of the magnet? If I remove the magnet, it will fall. So if there's a magnet there, it doesn't fall. Okay? So when you're handling it in an awkward position, the screws won't fall. Try to put it as perpendicular as possible. You hear it's not moving. I'm not pressing it fully also. You have to learn how to lessen your strength. Especially the macros, they're expensive. They're 10,000 pesos per piece. So, let's take care of them. Okay? Let's take care of them. Especially the dual techs. They cost up to 10,000 per piece.
Future root setters here.
Oh, let's go.
So after they showed us the basics of drilling, we got into groups of 2. So we got to pick partners to create our problems. But before we actually created our problems, we tested the wall. We just got comfortable with drilling into the wall and feeling the holds. I didn't want to make any mistakes. I didn't want to damage anything, which is why I was really taking my time with this part before I fully moved on. Like, I didn't want to drill too hard into the hold and end up cracking it. I think that was my biggest scare is, if I push too hard or drill too hard in, I don't want to damage anything. I don't want to damage the wall or damage the holds. So I was taking it more gentle. But then when Gerwin told me that you can actually use a little more force, then I got more comfortable with using more energy when drilling into the wall. So I learned you have to be careful, but not too careful.
You set a route, make it harder, AJ, so that no one in B24 ever sends it.
Now we have a second hold for Feline's. Oh, I think I need another one.
Yeah, a smaller one.
Pull out. And then this one was. It's for the smaller ones.
Is it magnetic?
I think this one doesn't have the magnet like he had. He had like a ring that makes it magnetic.
Okay. Oh, it's not.
So depende sa drill na.
They didn't really go in.
More like okay.
Oh, so even when it's doing the clicking sound, keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When screwing, you need force to push.
Screwing.
Yeah. Because like you have to penetrate because this one has already the screw hole.
Penetrating new wood. So
Yeah.
okay, but the bolts go in easy.
Yeah. Screwing is more battery consuming than the bolting.
Yeah, so now it's hangable.
It's more. Yes. How would you know if it's already the end?
I guess when it's past this shallow point. And then muscle. Yeah, push with the. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, yes. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So after drilling in those mint holes, I really wanted to get on setting an actual problem. So me and my friend Trish, I explained to her this vision that I had. I wanted to use the purple holds, which were some of my favorite holds in the gym. Whenever I climbed routes on those holds, I really like how they felt, and I really like how they had some big grips to them.
Once you're ready and then you already have an idea, you can set on the walls. Like for example, here we already have the blue. So don't use blue here. Make sure you choose different color.
I wanted to use the purple holds in the cave area to do a dyno. Already from the comp, they had 2 volumes set up. They had a pyramid triangle volume at the bottom, and then they had cube volumes at the top. And I already envisioned, oh, we can jump from the bottom to the top at this cool angle. So I just had to figure out which holds I wanted to use to make this movement happen. At first I wanted to use a big hold, but I realized it would not fit on the cube volume. So we had to settle with using a smaller hold. But before we did that, I wanted to know the starting position. I told Trish to get into a position so I can vision how it would be to start in order to get onto the volume at the bottom and get ready for the dyno to jump to the cube. I didn't really drill in the holds yet. I just screwed them into the wall just to kind of like visualize everything that was going on and be able to feel out the reach of things. They really told us to keep in mind too, taller climbers and shorter climbers. You do not want taller climbers to break your beta, which is something I really wanted to avoid. If I put too many holds a little bit higher, taller climbers would just not do the dyno and they'd figure out a static way to reach the top. I did not want that to happen. And shorter climbers, I wanted them to not be too intimidated by the leap. So I didn't want to make it too far. I was kind of scared that it was too far though. So after we got the hold on the cube volume, the catch, it was a jug. It felt pretty good. So I was just feeling it out, and I was feeling out the foot placement because the last move would be reaching to the very top of the cave to grab the finishing holds. After I was comfortable with the jug on the cube, I put in the other screw to really solidify it in there. That's what you do when you're pretty much happy with the setting. Put in the supporting screws and make sure it's really safe. And this is me doing the movement in order to reach the final hold, which I envisioned at the top, and I wanted it to be 2 catch. So 2 holds that you had to catch in order to finish the problem. That part was really scary because you had to bring these heavy holds up the ladder to the highest point of the gym. And I was checking out everybody else's problems. Jerome's problem. Jerome and Mark, actually. They were working on this this green hold, very crimpy route beside the cave. Interesting movement. And the second to last hold is like this very challenging crimp. One of those climbs that you can't really rush through. You have to take your time. It was really cool to see everyone's ideas, and this made me realize that every route setter has their own vision. It's really an art, you know? You give tools to all these different people, they're not going to make the same problem. It's all going to be different. And then this is Trish making her problem. She had this idea that she experienced at Beehive, which was this kind of interesting cartwheel reach that you have to do to the next hold. So she really wanted to do something like that. This is Neil, one of the route setters that is already one of the setters at the gym, working on a problem beside mine, and he's trying out the problems. He's actually the open winner of the competition. So he's a really good climber, not just a route setter. And this is Neil trying out the dyno. He showed me that it is indeed possible. But when you watch people climb your climb, it really gives you more ideas. Just from him doing those movements, I was like, okay, yes, this works. I'll change this and all that. This is also Jerome trying it. He was scared to fully jump, fully commit. But I want that feeling. I want the climb to be somewhat scary, but still possible. So that when you actually do the leap and you catch it, you have that feeling of, wow, I did it. That's what I really love about dynos. And this is Dan doing the dyno. He's the winner of the intermediate division at the comp. Really cool that he was in the route setting class as well. Ooh, the one-hand catch of Ron. Ron is one of the owners of B24. Him and Jen. Shout out to them for setting up this whole class and making it happen. Gerwin feeling out my climb. That was very nerve-wracking for me because I was like, ooh, what if they make me like change everything? What if they hate it? This is me doing the dyno, realizing it is possible. We added a second hold to make the dyno more comfortable. You could see it's a right-hand grip on the lower volume. I'm figuring out the beginning a little more. They wanted me to use pockets for the start to make it a bit more challenging. And I removed that moon hold, which wasn't really necessary. Those are things that happen. You kind of tweak. You lay out the bones of the problem first, and then you kind of go through it to flush it out and finalize it. Ooh, the dyno, it feels so good to do. I was so hyped for everyone to try this problem afterwards. And this is the last move. I remember I rushed the last move before, and it was actually kind of scary. This is Jerome trying it again. I think that's the scariest part, is the sideways leap. But your feet are positioned pretty well to help really boost that launch. That bottom volume is perfect. Perfect position. This is Jerome trying Trish's climb, and she was able to do the movement that she wanted. They made me move the foothold in the beginning to the right to make it more challenging and to force the swing onto the dyno, which actually made the problem difficult throughout, which is way better. Because they said the beginning was way too easy. And that's the final climb. In the end of it, they gave me the stamp of approval.
Dynamic ni AJ. So, the dyno was nice, explosive. We tweaked some holds just to make it a bit comfortable to get to the jumping position.
Oh, and after the climb, this was a surprise to all of us that we got a certificate of route setting. So this is kind of like that stamp of approval that yes, we do know what we're doing, and hopefully you'll let us route set at your local gym. And the next day, I wasn't even going to climb because I was so tired from route setting and climbing all day. But Jerome was saying that everyone was going to be at the gym, a lot of Philippine climbers from the comp. And yeah, I'm glad I went because I was able to film a lot of them trying the problem, everyone having fun on it. And that's really the reward of route setting, is seeing people try your climb, attempt it, and eventually send it. And that's really what I really wanted. I'd never seen a dyno like this in this gym, and I was glad I was able to introduce this to B24 because I've done dynos like this in Japan, in Korea, and I had the vision from doing those climbs, and hopefully I can route set in the future and introduce more moves and more inspiration that I find even on Instagram. That's what they were saying, Gerwin and Mikkil. They're like, if you find inspo on Instagram, use that as motivation for a new route that you want to make. And even if you watch comps, IFSC comps, take note. And I feel a lot of route setters do that. It's this whole borrowing ideas from different climbs that you see or different climbs that you've done. So yeah, this is the beginning of my route setting journey. It definitely isn't the last time. I'm really passionate about it. I hope to route set even more and make a lot of route setting vlogs for you guys. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of those, and also follow my Instagram if you want to see more life updates.